The only thing he would be mentioning is that the report of the program, the state of the district is active places, and he always asks if you keep one for yourself and put it in somewhere in the community. Otherwise, everything's there on the website. Okay.
Let's see, report of representatives, career and technology, Steve Lund.
At your place setting we were given last month in August, the summer newsletter. It's rather thick. There's a lot of interesting awards that have been given to the students at CTC and even several of our students. They've excelled there. One thing CTC is doing, part of the budget, we're hiring an outside group out of Palmyra to come and do advertising for CTC. I think it's one of the best kept secrets in Lebanon County, what they offer our students, and I think it's an incredible service to our community. And they have so many programs that are really good, and there aren't a lot of students in it, and they're on the borderline of ceasing those programs, but they're programs where students can graduate and go on and get a good paying job right there at CTC. So I think that's exciting. The next few months we're going to see more publicly how CTC can meet the needs of our students. So I'm excited about that.
Thank you, Steve. Amy, move my papers now. Okay, how about the Intermediate Unit 13? Stacey?
Your local board update from the IU, Mary has on the attached to the agenda. At our August meeting, they talked about the ESY, the Extended School Year programs. They had 63 programs this summer that took place. So many students benefited from those programs. Just looking at this past year, there were 628 students that were served through the IU. So that's something that they are very proud of and want to continue. Steve says CTC is the best kept secret. I would say IU is as well. So I'm proud of what they're doing there, and they're really accomplishing a lot. So thankful for both of these organizations and that our schools are.
Thank you, Stacey. Amy Sell, the EITTCC. Nothing to report. And legislative, Steve?
I don't really have a report either. I don't really have an update. So.
And Recreation Commission Representative, Amy?
I would also like to say it's the best kept secret, however. The notice of dissolution was in your superintendent's report, and officially winding down. There is a meeting on Monday that's held at the middle school at 6:30, and I would encourage you to come out to Hinklefest this weekend. Go to Lebanon Rec will have a booth there, and then their final event will be the Touch a Truck.
Thank you. Okay, public input. I'll just go down in the order that I have these here. Angela Pierce. Thank you for your patience.
Okay, well, this will not be near as controversial as what we just went and listened to. First, I want to thank you for allowing anyone to come and speak for whatever in the district. I'm Angie Pierce. I live in Jonestown. I'm a graduate of Northern Lebanon. I've come back. I'm very into sports. I'm actually today representing the Vikings Youth Basketball Association, known as the BYBA. Used to be the FYAA, for those of you who have been around for a while. And I just have I think it's a simple request. I hope it's a simple request. I'm going to read it here. It was actually written by one of our other board members. We're looking to submit a request for our youth basketball program to either donate or place or leave 5 or so basketball. That was simple. We'd like to leave some basketballs in the elementary schools in Jonestown, Lickdale, Ferrisburg, and East Hanover, allowing us to keep those basketballs in the schools during our season. We'll keep the registration costs as low as possible, which is very important for us in the district for all the youth basketball players. Right now, we have one of the lowest registration fees in our district, and we'd like to keep it that way. I think that helps to keep the kids involved. We have all the way from kindergarten all the way up through 6th grade. Right now, last year, we actually fielded 27 teams. We had over 175 participants across the district. It's a growing program. And because we have that large of an amount of kids, we use the elementary schools, the principals know, they get requests every year. We use all 4 schools almost 5 days a week for 3 hours a night. And Saturday mornings we're in there for games. So we use the school facilities a lot, which we really appreciate. Right now, we currently have about 34 basketballs that are in good condition. We haven't bought new equipment for a while. If we have 27 coaches, say we have 27 teams again, with about 8 to 10 players, we'd have to purchase over 100 basketballs to outfit every single team. But if we would be allowed to keep those basketballs in the schools, obviously we could purchase a lot less and replace as needed. Right now, if we would be able to, I lost my place. We could take those funds and put them elsewhere instead of putting them into purchasing more and more basketballs for everybody. We could put that into possibly replacement of uniforms or a banquet at the end of the year. That's something we've been looking forward to trying to do again, or awards for the kids at the end. We are willing to purchase a rack or a cage or something to put the basketballs in so they'd be housed nice, orderly in the school. We would also work with the elementary principals as to where to keep them, and we'd be very open to sharing it with the gym teachers and with the school and the kids at the school. We would just like to keep them there if at all possible, actually during the season, which we run the beginning of December until about the beginning of March, the 1st or 2nd week of March. And if necessary, as soon as the season ends, we'll take the equipment out to make room for whatever is coming in for the next season or whatever the gym teachers would use. All we would need was to have access to that equipment during our season. And like I said, we would put it away. If we need to put it in a locked cage that we have, that gym teachers would have access to as well, we would do that. If it gets damaged, we'll replace it. We will take the responsibility, to replace the equipment. We don't expect the schools to monitor their equipment, and we would like them to take full advantage of it when they're there. We just really would appreciate being able to store basketballs and equipment over our season, which is December through March. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next one is Jesse Schneider.
Jesse Schneider from Homondale Road in Jonestown. Last month, the board unanimously voted the father down 9-0 tuition waived living out of the district. That child is currently enrolled and attending this district tuition free. That child also is playing sports. For the taxpayers of the district, for a student to come in, the board has to approve either being tuition waived or they have to pay the $10,500 of rough estimates, $10,498 or something. The board voted him down. What happened was, I knew this was going to happen. I kept calling once a week, talking to Mrs. Saracini, talking to Mary, and also extensively with Dr. Bell about what's taking place, because I figured she's still using my address. Everybody was real cooperative up until the day before school, because nothing has changed. She was still visiting her house saying, yeah, I'm playing volleyball and all this stuff. I'm thinking, how is this going on when you don't live in a district? It is a Myerstown address. Okay. There was a fake lease agreement made that he gave somebody in the district. And at that point, I called Friday, the day before school, and I was shut down. You're not the parent. We can't speak with you, this and that. So I got her mother to stand next to me and go through the whole deal. We were again shut down to find out what address. The biological mother was shut down to find the address. We actually went over to Dr. Bell, and he said he cannot release the information, and I wish he was here, but I told him I'd ask him this. They said, can't you turn around and type in your computer and look it up? And his response was, no, I don't have access to any student records at all. And so I'm going to call you out on that, because I don't find the head man not having any kind of records. We let it go over the weekend. We go in Monday. He said, you have to have court documentation. Why does the mother that is listed on everything in the power school with medical records, and everything under the sun, need any kind of documentation other than driver's license saying, I'm the mother. She was a nervous wreck all weekend. When it comes to Monday, again, we cannot get the records unless you provide us information. So she drove to Dr. Bell, gave the information of the custody case. She provided 2 documentations, the court custody case that shows her address either being at our house or at her father's house. And we sat there and told Dr. Bell that she does not live at our house, she lives at her father's house. We also showed the child support, which he signed a month prior, that says, yes, she is going to live with me at this Myerstown address. So they gave it to the solicitor, who, this is 2.5 weeks ago. Friday came up in the 3 weeks. So I figured I'd be proactive in the situation and come down and let the board know that what you unanimously vote down slipped through the cracks, and now us taxpayers are picking up somebody who makes more than enough money to, if he wanted to, pay the district the $10,500 or withdraw the student and have the student go to the correct school district. So I have a ton of documentation from the place where they supposedly live. Driver's license of the female there, the guy's business at the address, the Lebanon County courthouse. It's a single dwelling. Nobody's name other than his is on it. I even had a day where I went in the morning and physically watched him leave in his SEI truck to go to work. She had a picture with the stepmother. The oldest child was over, and we said to her, where is this picture taken? And she said, the oldest child has no idea what's going on. She said, that's in their breakfast nook that they eat breakfast in. And at one point, this daughter was just over Sunday and said, I sure hope my dad changes the laundry. And I said, well, where's that? Well, at his house. So I don't know if the solicitor's dropping the ball or he has some kind of ties with this guy, but it just seemed really shady, this whole ordeal has been going through. So I just want to let the board know that us taxpayers are paying all the $11,000 for this child and his father to feed the system. I just want to let you know. If you have any questions, I can give my phone number. I'll provide any documentation, photos, whatever you guys want. I don't have a problem with that. And the mother also has no problem doing that. She's not a public speaker, and she's looking out the best for her child. She don't want, the child ridiculed. So, okay.
Thank you very much. And our last one is Michelle Miller.
My name is Michelle Miller. I am the director and owner of Knowing in the Daycare Center in Fredericksburg. What I've come to talk to you about tonight is the fact that I've been receiving a lot of phone calls recently, like the end of summer and into school year, from parents from the Jonestown Elementary School and the Lickdale Elementary School. They're unable to find childcare for their students before and after school. They're telling us that the daycare centers in Jonestown are full. The reason that we're having to turn them down is because the school district will not bus to my daycare center in Fredericksburg. So I am limited to just the students that go to Fredericksburg Elementary. But what has me concerned is the Jonestown daycare centers are allowed busing from this school district to any school in the district. So Northern London is sending buses to the daycare centers in Jonestown and taking those kids to any of the schools in the district, but they will not bus from the daycare centers outside of Jonestown to Jonestown Elementary School and back to the daycare cat. I understand that this was offered when the whole kindergarten got moved to Jonestown, and then Jonestown the open enrollment was no longer allowed at Jonestown. It was students that lived in Jonestown only could go to Jonestown. So I understand that the board went through that and said, but if your child has to go back to their other school, their home school, and you need daycare in Jonestown, we will bus them back and forth. But unfortunately what's happened is new children are now entering these daycares in Jonestown. and busing is still being provided. Whereas if it would have been put that we will offer daycare, we will offer busing to the children that are already in these daycares, when we changed the open enrollment policy for Jonestown, would have been understandable because it would have been you guys phasing it out. Like as those children got older and went to the middle school, busing would have been phased out and Jonestown daycares would just have Jonestown Elementary School. But the busing has continued, and the daycare centers in Jonestown, and I have their advertisements, are now advertising that Northern London School District is providing buses from their daycare centers to any of the 4 elementary schools. I've talked to other daycare centers that are not in Jonestown. I'm not going to name names because they're not here tonight, and that's just not professional of me, but we do feel that it is discriminating that the daycares in Jonestown are being given this lost the word. They're being given this privilege to be able to pull from the 4 elementary schools where their daycare business is, whereas I can only go from Fredericksburg. So I do understand the cost of busing, but right now you do have buses running past my center. You have a kindergarten bus that comes to my center, drops off, picks up kindergarten kids from Jonestown. I was told by Matt Dellers that he will not put older children on a kindergarten bus. I understand. He also said he doesn't have the authority to make any changes. So that's why I'm here tonight, to ask that the daycares outside of Jonestown be treated equally with those that are inside Jonestown, and that busing either be provided equally or, and I really don't want to upset parents, but that maybe busing not be provided at all then, just because of, and I'm just asking for the licensed daycares. I'm looking at the licensed daycares outside of Jonestown, that you would be willing to work with us on busing students back and forth, and to be able to have the parents that are calling me saying the other daycare centers in Jonestown are full, or they're not the daycare centers that they want to take their children to. Like, they're being told that this is the only option you have, and they can't look at anybody else. So thank you for your time.
That concludes the public input session. Is there any new business?
Just a reminder that there's food in the back. That's not really new business, but there is food, refreshments in the back.
But it's new food, right?
New food.
New food, so okay, we're good to go.
Not home.
Left from last
Okay, if there's no other comments, the meeting is adjourned.